Hey guys, welcome back to Everyday Tactical Vids. This is Blaze. I'm bringing a review today of the Thorfire C8S. This light is surprisingly around $20 on Amazon, which I find incredible. It's high quality aluminum, nice build, feels good, and 900 lumens. So for 20 bucks, this is a very good deal. But you'll have to see if you like it and could find a use for it yourself. Here's what the Thorfire comes in. It comes in this nice box, which I like. Reminds me of a knife box. It is, as it says here, made in China, which might annoy some people, but it doesn't bother me because I think Thorfire has a good enough reputation where you can trust this light, and especially for 20 bucks, you can't go wrong. So here's everything that the flashlight comes with. It comes with the instruction manual, a baggie with some O-rings and a lanyard in it. It doesn't come with a pocket clip because you're not going to be putting this in your pocket. And then the light itself. It doesn't come with a battery, but it will take 2 CR123s or one 18650. Here's the instruction manual. I don't find it super helpful because it doesn't show you all the different outputs. Just give you some basic information, things that people that are buying this flashlight probably already know about it. It shows you the maximum lumen output, which you can see right there is 900. It gives you some dimensions, but they're millimeters. If you want that, you can read them there. But I'll show you it next to a tape measure. But as you can see, 900 lumens is the max output. It doesn't tell you the run times or anything like that. And it does say made of aircraft-grade aluminum, which is nice. And it has this, I don't know if you can really pick it up on camera, but it has this matte coating on it. There's a little scrape on it from the concrete. That's okay. It has this matte finish on it, which I like. It makes the light feel a little bit different. There's no glare. And it's pretty cool. So here's the measurements in inches. As you can see, it's about 5 3/4 inches long. And then if you hold it on the tail cap side, you can see it, put it in frame there. It is about 1 inch wide. And then if you bring it to the head, which is obviously much wider, it is about 1.5 inches, a little bit more, maybe 1 3/4 inches there. So obviously you're not going to be putting this in your pocket. It is fairly large. Has a nice aggressive bezel there, which I like and I prefer. It does have a short handle, I guess you could call it here. So I have very big hands. I have extra large, maybe sometimes 2XL hands. So it's a squeeze to fit all my hands before it starts to come here. It's not that big of a deal because I can just hold it like this. It's not that bad. But what I think is it's meant for a gun, and if a gun mount can go on here and you put that on the side. It does have the end cap here. To push it down, you turn it on, and then to switch through the modes, you just slightly tap the end cap, and it cycles through all the modes, and then double tap it, if I can get it, to turn on the strobe. It has a slower strobe, which I like, as I'll talk about later when we look at it outside. But I do prefer the style of end cap that it has, where you just slightly depress it to turn it to a different mode. I prefer that over the secondary switch to change modes, like on through nights and things like that. But it's not that big of a deal, and I can get over it for other lights. But it is nice that it includes it on this one on the end cap. It does not, however, have momentary on, so you have to click it on for it to come on. Just one thing to note. So here's a size comparison for you. Here's the Thorfire on the bottom. This is my Benchmade Griptilian, and this is the Through Night Archer 2C V2. As you can see, this one is the longest and the widest of the bunch. If you compare them to the Through Night, which the Through Night is pretty standard as far as lights of this size, 18650 lights go. So it is much wider than the Through Night. This one looks a little thinner because it has the silver bezel, but still, definitely much wider and not going to be able to put in a pocket. So this is what the Thorfire C8S looks like outside. 900 lumens, getting a pretty good center and pretty good output out there. As you can see that pole out there, which is about 80 to 100 yards away. You can see the reflection off the sign that's up there. If you start to shine it out, you can very clearly see other things in the yard. If I pick up the camera here, I can see from that shed to that tree in the cone of light, but not much detail in the cone. So if I wanted to look for a specific thing in this area in the backyard here, I would want to shine that center onto different areas. The cone doesn't give you much detail. I can see what things are. I can see the shed out there. I can see the tree and what it is, but wouldn't really be able to see much in there. So real quick, I'll go through the settings here. This is Firefly, which I can't really see anything out of it in the yard, but you can see it shining on my hand in front of me. And then to the low setting, which is this. Still can't really see anything out in the yard. If I shine the center, I can see things. It's almost like the cone of the highest setting is what the center looks like here. And then this medium setting, the cone, once you switch to the medium setting, there is, definitely gets bigger, definitely gets brighter. You can notice it. There's more of a consistent spread in the medium as far as from the edge to edge and then the center. So it's not as drastic as the high setting is as far as the center being super hot and the spread being kind of weak. It's more of a consistent brightness throughout. So something like my through night has a very bright, very big spread. So it's a very consistent light throughout the whole thing. Kind of like this, but much brighter. So I can see well in the center on this medium setting, but not super well in the spread, and then back to the high setting. And this gives off good light, good spread. Not as good as I would like it to be, but some people that might not matter. If you want a light that will pinpoint something and basically put a spotlight out, this will do well for you as it does that. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but that little thing that I'm shining the light on is a stack of firewood. I can see that very well. I'd probably be able to see if there's an animal crawling out there, even from about 80 to 100 yards away. So I can see very well on this high setting. And real quick, I'll show you strobe real quick. If I can get it there. So that would disorient someone for sure. Other than that, it's not great, but it does do well. And I like it's more of a slow strobe, which I like. Some strobes are just really, really fast. But I prefer a little bit slower one, which this does have. And I really like the end cap method of switching rather than a second button like on a through night or a night core. On this one, you just lightly tap the back and it switches like I talked about before. And I really enjoy that. I really like that. It makes one-handed use a lot easier. So the use of operation is very easy on this light, and it makes it easy to cycle through modes. I'll show you real quick. Low, medium, high, and then strobe. If you double tap it, if I can get it, there we go. So I like that method, and it makes it easy to real quick cycle through if I had to out here through the different modes. But as you can see pretty well. You can see better in person, but the camera picks up that center well, and you can see things out in the yard. So this is what the Thorfire looks like outside, and you will have to make your opinion when you see it. Let's talk about what I would use this light for. I would maybe EDC this in a bag, but I prefer to have my flashlights on me. It's just a quicker way, more reliable way for things like self-defense and things like that. I prefer to carry a flashlight in my pocket. So this, obviously, is not going to fit in my pocket. But I would put it in a bag. I would bring it probably on some survival outings. But what I think this light is designed for is mounting on a gun right here, and then being able to one-hand operate it, one finger, and just cycle through the modes by depressing it and going like that. So that's what I think this is designed for, and with that really wide bezel, it creates that nice big source of light there. So that's what I think it's designed for. It's definitely not designed to carry in your pocket, but it is a nice light, and it's high quality, I think, even especially for $20. And it has this nice, as I mentioned before, this matte finish, which I like, and I just like it. It's hefty. It feels nice. It's fun to use. I like the light. So I guess that rolls into the next topic, which would be how much do I like it. I don't see a ton of use for this flashlight. Maybe I can't recommend things for law enforcement, military, because I'm not part of that. I don't have experience. So if you are law enforcement or military, you would have to check this out to see if this would work for you. But like I said, I think it is intended to mount on a gun. But I don't have a gun yet, and so I don't really have a ton of use for this. If I want a flashlight to carry on my person, or if I want one to bring out in the woods, I can bring other ones like my through night or other things that I like better than this. But for $20, I think this is a steal. I think it is a great light for the price. And you will have to pay a little bit more for the battery. But like I said, $20 for a 900 lumen flashlight that has multiple modes, made out of aluminum, and has this nice bezel. Just really nice build here. I think it's a steal. I think just take a chance, and if you don't like it, it's only 20 bucks. It's not that big of a deal. So I would recommend this for people that have a use for it. If you don't really need a light that can be mounted on a gun well, or has this big head, maybe you like that. Maybe that's something you like, that's fine. But if you don't really need this light, then there's other things that are probably going to cost a little bit more, but I think it's worth it, as you can put it in your pocket or a bag easier. So if you want it, I think it's a great light. I think it's a good option, especially for the price point. It definitely is a competitor with other lights. In this price range, there really isn't many, but with other lights of this style, it definitely is built well and definitely contends well and can be a competitor to other ones like it. So guys, thanks for checking out this video of the Thorfire C8S. Be sure to like the video below, subscribe to our channel, and check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks for watching again, guys. We will see you next time.